It's funny, I just got done talking about doing lives and how too many webinars are pretending to be live and they're not. And then I go to do a Facebook Live and I can't get it to work. The tech for some reason isn't working. You know, typical, I make Murphy's Law look like they just won 2 lotteries. So anyhow, the idea behind this video is that people are coaches, coaching industry. That's who I talk to. Coaches, you have a tendency to worry about choosing a niche because all the gurus tell you, you got to pick a niche first. Okay. Let's say you pick a niche and then you have this offer and they tell you, okay, the offer's good because you have the program and the pricing and the packaging and you have all this stuff together that you feel is your offer. Great. You move forward, you start doing advertising and now maybe you're doing organic. So you're spending hours posting content, trying to drive people to your offer, or you're running ads and driving people to a lead magnet as an example. All those are great and they do work, but the big challenge we all face as coaches is that you're wasting your time and your money doing all that stuff first until, oh, wait, and here's the interesting part. That stuff works. So please understand, that all works and it'll drive sales for you, drive sales conversations for you, whether you're actually selling or afraid of sales calls or not. It'll drive sales. But then you're wasting time on sales calls and here's the number one thing that you need to work on absolutely first before you figure out how to run your ads and how to drive traffic and how to start doing sales calls and everything else. You have to learn how to communicate your offer. It's one thing to have an offer. And it sounds good because you have this, you have this packaging and these videos and this coaching and whatever it is that you're going to include in the offer. And you might have a great price for it or not. You might have whatever. You might think it's the world's greatest thing since sliced bread. But your offer is not that stuff, even though that's the way coaches structure it so they can have a course to put together and teach you how to create an offer. It's all true. You do need all that stuff. But what you really need is the ability to communicate your offer. Communicate it in a clear way that lets the person understand the result they're going to get at the end of that time with you, whatever it is, if it's coaching, if it's a course, whatever it's going to be, a mini workshop, mastermind, whatever it's going to be. What's the final result going to be of working with you? You need to be able to clearly communicate that. And it's not just a one sentence thing like some people would have you believe. The one sentence offer that exists out there that, hey, if I did this for you and it got you this, would you be interested? Comment below. Well, great. That's organic ways to drive some organic traffic and you see who's interested and who's not. But that's not the way you communicate your offer. When it comes time to actually communicate on the sales call, you have to be able to communicate in a way that makes people go, absolutely, that's it. That's exactly what I'm looking for. You seem to know exactly what I've been going through. So from my point of view, which after 30 some years of doing this, and I discovered this literally when I was in my early 20s running some martial arts schools. We doubled the martial arts school's productivity and sales in 4 months by changing the offer. Now, I didn't know that back then what we were doing. I just sold it differently than the previous owner. So, and people that were there before and came back and listened to me, they got involved after they heard my version of the offer. So I know it works. I know that's the biggest challenge coaches face. And I know from some future things I'm going to be doing in my Facebook group, which, by the way, depending on where I put this video, might be, if you go to my intro, facebook.com/jumpstartgym, somewhere in my intro, there's a little bit.ly link that'll take you to the Facebook group. It's a free group. I'll be going into way more detail and explaining how a variety of coaches I have had have gone from like 0 sales to like 80% closing ratios, or from 0 sales to 30,000 a month the very next month. Not because of scripts, not because, like, I teach sales. So it's not this magic sales script. It's not the tone of the voice. It's not the questions that you had to ask. It's all built around the offer. And when they got clear on the offer, their sales just completely changed. All of a sudden they went from struggling to successful. And again, I'll talk a little bit more about that in the group. So I hope this helps at least introduce you to the idea of focus on getting your offer done. And by the way, I actually recommend someone else to help you with this. If you're not interested in one-on-one time with me, which gets a little bit intense, I actually am recommending someone else. So in that Facebook group too, I'll also tell you who I recommend would help you walk you through that process. Thanks. Talk to you soon.